Hello, welcome to this lesson. In this video, I'll be taking you through the vertical lookup, popularly known as the VLOOKUP. Now, the VLOOKUP is one of Excel's most important functions. And of course, it is an advanced skill. If you actually know how to make use of it, it makes life easier. Now, when you have a vertical table, and you want to return a specific data from such tables, the best function you can use is the VLOOKUP function. Now, one rule we have to remember about the VLOOKUP is that it actually works from left to right. So which means your lookup value must be on the left. So your lookup value must be on the left. Then it moves from left to right and not from right to left. That's one rule that you should remember. Now, when you look at this employee data, let me actually see the number. It's about 1001. 1001. The data is about 1001. And then when you look at let's see the header. When you look at the header is about, let me highlight and see. The header is about 14. The count is 14 from the staff ID to the full name, job title, etc. Now we have been given this employee ID and we have been asked to return these details of the employee ID using the VLOOKUP. So how do we go about that? I'll be taking you through 3 different methods that you can use from the beginners to the advanced level of it. Now, as a beginner, if you want to solve this kind of problem, this is what you can do. You can say equals to, if you want to start VLOOKUP, and it says your lookup value. This is our lookup value. Like I said, your lookup value must always be on the left. Then you press a comma and it says your table array. Now, one thing you should remember is that I'm going to fix my column by putting the $sign. Now, because I'll be dragging from left to right and I'll be dragging down, so the column will remain fixed, the column will not change, but the rows will change. So, and that's why I'm fixing my column. So, I'll fix the column and then the table array. Now, this is our table array. You highlight your entire data set. Doesn't matter how large it is. Highlight it and you have to fix it. So, press your F4 and fix. Now, in Excel, it is a rule that when you select an array, it has to be fixed. So, fix it and press a comma and say column index. Now, when you look at our data set, we have this staff ID, we have the full name. So if you count, this is 1, column 1, and this is column 2. So the full name that we want to return is actually on column 2. And then you say 2. And then you press a comma. And then they say, do you want the approximate or you want the exact? So in this case, I want the exact match. So I will press 0 and then I'll press enter. And then I have these details. And then you can drag it this way. You see it. And then you can drag it this way. And you see it. Now there are 2 things that we have to take care of. And number 1, we have to first of all take care of this error. You can see this error. We have to take care of it. And number 2, we have to take care of our column index, so that we can have the exact data that we are looking for. Now, if you look at this error, this employee ID, it means that something must be wrong with it because Excel is returning error actually, which means in that this array, that employee ID could not be found, and that's why Excel is returning the error message. For example, let's actually confirm. Let me copy the employee ID and then I'll go to my data set. Let me filter, apply filter, and then press it and say, you see that this employee ID could not be found in that data set, and that's why Excel is returning error. So how do we go about it? We cannot actually leave it this way. So we incorporate the IFERROR function and we take care of it. So I'll come to my formula. I'll come here. I'll come to my formula and say IFERROR, and then I'll come to the end, I'll press comma, what do you want Excel to do? I'll open a double quotation and put dash. And then I'll close the quotation, I'll close the bracket. And then I'll press enter. Excel, when you now drag it down, drag it this way, and drag it this way, you see that Excel has actually taken care of this error that we are having. It has actually taken care of this errors. Actually taking care of this error. So the next thing for us to do is that we have to fix the column index so that we have the right data. We should have gender here, age, department, job title, and so on and so forth. So in order to save time, this is what I will do. I'll actually copy the header of our data set. I'll copy the header, and then I'll copy, Ctrl+C to copy. I'll come here and I will put it as transpose. And then you see transpose. And then I will actually give it a number, sequence 2, and then I'll drag it down. So there are 14, we have 14 headers. So what do we do? When you come here and you say gender, and you see it here, you see that gender is on column 6. So I'll simply come here and say change this to. Here you have this 2, I'll change it to 6. I'll press my enter, and you see that that's taking care of the gender issue. And then age is column 8. So I'll simply put it here, 8. And then department is 4. I'll come here and put 4, where we have this 2. Just modify the formula. And then job title is, let's say the job title 3. So I'll simply come here, where we have the 2. I'll put 3. And then, what else? Country is column 12. I'll simply come here and put 12. And then you see that's taking care of it. Annual salary is column 10. So I'll simply come here and put 10, where we have this 2. And then that's taking care of it. And then the hire date is 9. I'll simply come here, 9. And then the exit date is 14. I'll simply come here, and then I'll put it as 14. Yeah. So since I have everything set, I'll simply drag it down. And then you see I have all my data. So what I will do is that I'll simply format this cell. I'll change it to currency, and then I'll look for US dollars. Then this way. And then these other dates, I'll simply format them to short dates. Then I have my data set. Now that's one way of going about it, but that's a beginner method. Now let me introduce a more advanced method to you, and that is incorporating your match function. So instead of us manually changing our column index, we're actually going to use the match function to return the column index, and then we now walk through it. So let's go. Here, let me return my column index and say equals to match. And then it says your lookup value. This is our lookup value we want to look at for. And then because you are dragging to the right, the column will change while the rows remain the same. So I will fix my row by pressing F, the $sign. I'll fix my row, and then comma, the lookup array. This is our lookup array. I'll simply highlight this, and I'll fix by pressing my F4. I'll fix by actually pressing my F4 and then comma, and then I want the exact match. So I'll press 0. I'll press enter. And then you see from my table, you see that this ID is number 1. And then I can easily drag it. And then we have our column index now returned for us automatically instead of changing it manually. So what do we do now? I'll simply say equals to VLOOKUP. Then this is our lookup value. And then I will fix, don't forget to fix your column index. Sorry, should be here. I'll fix the column and then comma and say table array. Sorry. So table array, highlight everything top to bottom, and then fix also by pressing your F4 to fix, and then your comma, and it said the column index. Now this is your column index. Click on it. This is your column index, and then fix the row. Fix the row with your $sign, and then press your comma, and then do you want the exact or approximate? I want the exact. Press 0 and I'll press enter. Then I have it. So I'll simply drag it this way, and then I'll simply drag it this way. And then also don't forget that we have this error the other time. So what we'll do is that we incorporate the if error to take care of it. So I'll simply come here and say if error, and then I'll come here and say comma, open the double quotation, dash, close the quotation, close the bracket, and press enter. Now you see, drag it down and drag it this way. You see that the error has been taken care of. Now what do we do now? I'll simply format, using my format painters, this cell, and then also using my format painters, I'll format the date cells, and then I have my data return. Now this is a better concept because actually we didn't change anything manually. We actually used the match function to return our column index, and then we used the VLOOKUP to return our data. So it's actually a better concept. But let me show you more the best concept, and that is incorporating the match function into your VLOOKUP formula. Now what do we do? This time around, I'm not going to type my formula, but I'll simply copy and modify. So I will come here, I'll copy this formula, copy, Ctrl+C, and then press your escape key, and then paste it here. Paste it. Now make sure that the formula is looking at the right cell. Now I want it to look at 24. I want the formula, I want the match function to actually look at this cell, that is a B24. So I'll simply come here and say this is B13. So I'll change the B13 to B24, and then I'll press my enter, and then I will drag it. So we have it now. So done for us. Then I'll also copy my formula here, the VLOOKUP formula here, and then I'll paste it here, and then I'll paste it. Now I want this formula to be looking at B25 because that's actually my lookup value, B25. So I'll come here and I'll look at this one. This is B14. I'll actually change it to B25, and I'll press my enter, and then I will drag down, and then I will drag this way, and then that's actually return all the values that I want. Now the next thing I want to do is that I want to incorporate the match function into the VLOOKUP formula. So I'll come in, I'll simply copy this formula that return the column index for me. So I'll copy the formula up to where we have the match. I'll say Ctrl+C, I'll press escape, and then I'll click here, and then this column index where we have C12 that return our index, I will then delete and paste the match function that return it, and then I'll press enter. Now the good thing is that if your formula is correct, nothing will change. So I'll simply drag this way, and then I will drag this way, and then you see that nothing changed, but everything is correct. Now I can easily get rid of this match function, can easily delete it, and then I can easily format this salary column, and then I'll format the date column also, and then I have it. So this is the best of the best. Thank you. Enjoy your day.